We are at Lakeview Cemetery, um, Cleveland Heights, just outside of Cleveland. Um, and this is a cemetery that dates to 1896. Um, and there are some very famous people here that are buried here that I want to show you off to you. First of all, you can't help but begin with this monument. Um, and it is to a president of the United States who was born here in Ohio. And very prominent figure. Um, in Ohio. uh, and made himself a name as the 20th president of the United States. This is the burial monument to Garfield, James Garfield. You think this is impressive? Wait until you see inside. Let's go up. All right, we are at the door now of the burial place of James Garfield. Um, uh, Quite elaborate. Let's go inside. Oh. Oh. Hello.
Group that raised the money and oversaw the construction of this building. Decided when it was going to be.
Ah.
That was President Hayes. He wrote in his diary.
In the doorway, this is floor number 1. Garfield, president for less than a year. He was assassinated. I remember in my college days, a professor once argued against this notion that America, the country, has a division between church and state. You know, he said that's foolish. You know, there is no division here in America between church and state because we may not have Jesus Christ. We may not have Buddha or you know, whatever, Muhammad or whatever, but many of our politicians, in a way, take on sort of a God-like, you know, persona of themselves. And we create in them a certain deity, a certain God-like figure, for whatever reason. And I have never seen that idea more exemplified than here in the Garfield Burial Place Memorial. I mean, look at that. The rotunda, the halo above, the Garfield. That is stained glass, I assume. figures. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, you got what, New York there at the feet. Here you have Connecticut. The curator here told me, look at the terrazzo floor. Curator here told me that an architect from Hartford, Connecticut, won the design to build this place. Something, huh? The doorway in, the first floor. Got the entrance leading right to the Garfield rotunda here in one. All right, now let's make our way to the basement and the crypt of Garfield and his wife.
And he had been secreted away to another family monster.
Down in the basement, steps leading down. I'll meet you down there. All right, now we are at the bottom of the stairwell, marble stairwell leading to the crypt here. All right. To the left, of course, is James Garfield, the 20th President of the United States. To the right, his wife, Lucretia. Kind of interesting name, a very Poe-esque, I think, or crypt. While here, there's two urns there beyond. The urns are, one is of the child of James and Lucretia, Molly, I believe. President had only one child, a daughter. That's her urn next to her husband's urn, who she married. She was 14 at the time of her father's death. And if you remember, I think Nova did a piece on the James Garfield assassination and more his treatment after the assassination, and found that there's no reason he should have died. The doctor that treated him was kind of treating him in a very old kind of, old abandoned way, and kind of realized that maybe it was due to the lack of medical training that actually killed Garfield. Being a president for only 200 some days, this is about the library that he left us here in this case, and most notable in his library, the Garfield Library, if you will, of papers and things, or just postcards of his monument here. He's kind of famous for just being famous and having a monument this size and of this scale. A few little campaign things here, but that's about it. Most of his library consists of the monument that he left behind, and not any sort of presidential legacy. Okay. There you go. It's the crypt, and let's see if take you to the third floor because this has 3 floors. This is the basement or one, the entry, and then there's also a terrace. Quite grand. Show's not over. Hold on. Okay, we're back in the entryway. Up from the crypt, and now we're going to head upstairs to the various balconies that are here. Okay, steps. These stairs are more pedestrian, if you will, than the ones leading to the crypt. Again, see up there. Okay, those stairs are steep. Now up here, a balcony. One of the balconies. To the rotunda. And, a different perspective here. Above. Quite an attraction, and it has, this being the beginning of April, it's seasonal. So I was by here about a month or so ago and wanted to get inside, but it just opened recently now for the high season here in Cleveland. So this is one of the balconies, all right? And I can imagine come June, July, and August, this place is really going to be busy. And if this isn't enough to keep you occupied, there's more balconies to go. Hold on. Okay, balcony number 2. There we go. Let's open this up. And this is outdoor balcony for the summertime crowd. The summertime tourists come out and get a lovely view of Cleveland off yonder. Suitable for framing. Although hopefully more greener than okay. There you go. Come out here and closer look at the monument. And oh, there are winds here today in Cleveland. So that's it. That's quite something for the 20th president to spend 200 days in office. It's Garfield. It's nice to be a local here. A god in these times of all-stars.